Hi everyone! I'm so excited to have all of you here today to share this wonderful moment together. This moment we're going to be able to reconnect you with your inner child and actually find your power just doing that. Let me ask you, when was the last time you had a heart-to-heart conversation between you and yourself? It's not something we do that often. And there's this moment when you sometimes have the opportunity to look at yourself in the mirror. So I hope you are able to look at yourself in the mirror and see your reflection and tell yourself, I can't believe it. I'm so proud of the person I am. And if you have this feeling, that's such a good feeling. So that's my goal for today. I would like, after this conversation, after this webinar, for all of you to be on your way to have this feeling of looking at yourself and saying, yes, I got it. I actually became the person I thought I could be. And let me share with you my screen, because I would like to start with a beautiful image I found, and I thought I really wanted to share it with you. It says, you may have a more grown-up body and a little bit more life experience, but you are every bit as precious. Love yourself as if you are the most precious thing in the world, because you are. And I would like you, during this webinar, to take this opportunity to give your little one a voice, to give her this special place in your heart. And I have to say that it's exciting to see all of you here today. We have some participants in person, but I know some of you will have signed up and couldn't make it, and they will be listening to the recording. So this message is for all of you. I have to say that it takes a brave person to say, you know what, I really, really want to have my best life, to have an exciting journey, to do everything that I meant for, and I'm gonna take action to do that. And just by being here today, that's exactly what you're doing. So let me tell you what we're gonna talk about today. Once again, I share my screen. I probably can do it in a smarter way, but that's okay. Apparently, I didn't share the previous screen, so now you see this beautiful image I was telling you about. And see, sexy, I'm not really familiar with technology, but let's go jump in and let me tell you what we're going to talk about today. First of all, I will tell you why it's so important to reconnect with your inner child. Because your inner child has a fantastic role every day of your life. And I will give you a few tips on how to connect with her or with him. And I will let you know how connecting with him or her will give you more power. And I'm gonna really try to give you as much information as possible during the time we have together. But I will also give you some links, some tools, so we can continue this work beyond today. And here I put a message. It's about love. It's all about love. Yes, this whole journey is about love. It's about loving you today. It's about loving this part of you that is deep inside, that you may have disconnected with. And by reconnecting with this part of you that I call my inner child, but in fact is your intuition, is your support every step of the way, you can have access to way more wisdom, to an exciting life, an exciting journey you may not even have considered. So I want to share with you again another slide, because I think that's again a beautiful one. That's the message I read, and I really was touched with by this message. And by the way, this little girl in the corner is my inner child. So those messages say, my dearest inner child, I ask you for forgiveness. I'm sorry I haven't always listened. I invite you to share with me now. I'm sorry I burden you. I am here for you. I hear you. And I love you. This message was written by Judy Veselski. I'm going to try to not murder her name. I apologize if I mispronounce it. But that's a beautiful message, because we all at some point disconnect from our inner child, from our inner wisdom. And sometimes we have a chance to reconnect with this inner part of us. And this moment feels amazing. I hope it's going to be okay if I share with you why I got so passionate about this work and how did my journey begin. How I started to help others achieve their dream in a professional and more importantly, in a personal level. Right now, this is my job. I do exactly what I love to do. I work with people I love every day. Last weekend, I was with my boyfriend in Carmel, and I was considering how lucky I was to spend my day either by the beach in that case, but when I'm working, I'm actually talking with wonderful people, and I'm writing books, and I have time to work on my sculptures. Oh, let me turn it. That's part of my work. I love sculpting beautiful work of art, and it's really, really exciting to have this type of life and to be sharing with people around me every day. But just a few years ago, as I enter my early 40s, I had a life that looked really, really different. I had moved to United States in 1996 to follow my husband. And before we moved together, I had an amazing job, totally different. I'm a scientist, I'm a biochemist. I have a PhD in biochemistry, a master in marketing, and I was working for the French Atomic Energy Commission. So high level, high paying, high potential job. But I decided to follow my husband to California so he could follow his dream. And it was okay at the time because we had a kid who was 3 years old, and the second one was on the way, and I was like, okay, that's the right time to get into this journey. But by doing that, I let go a part of my identity. And as the year went by, I start forgetting myself more and more. First of all, I was on a spouse visa for many years and I couldn't work. So I was just defined as the wife of. And as my kid grew up, I was taking care of them, and I was defined mostly as the mom of. So I was Alan's wife and Jordan and Alex's mom, but I was definitely not Fabienne. And little by little, I let myself shrink. I tried to get my identity, and that was in part thanks to my art. I exhibited in New York and in LA, and it was great. But over the year, my space shrank, my life shrank. And when I hit my 40s, just after my dad passed away, I realized that I was living far from the people I loved. Most of them were in France. I was not living the life that I wanted. And I was simply getting depressed. I was spending hours at a time in front of TV. I'm not proud of that. I was definitely not feeling good. I was definitely not good enough since I was not working. That was not feeling good. I didn't bring an income and so on, and it was hurting my self-esteem. I was not looking good enough. I had put on a lot of weight, so it was crappy time, and I didn't know what was going on and how I could get out of it. And my health started being affected. I hurt my back and I couldn't walk, so that was another really big struggle. And as I was trying to find a solution, I really wanted to get better, but actually what happened is it got worse first. When my husband of 20 years called me from his business trip, he was in Europe, and he called me and he said, I asked him how he was doing, and he said actually he was not doing well. And when I asked him what was going on, he told me, I'm sorry, Fab, I don't love you anymore. And in 3 days, I'm coming back from my trip and I'm packing my stuff and I'm leaving you. And I don't know if any of you had this experience in their life, but the way it feels at that moment is like whatever floor, whatever ground you had under your feet is taken away straight from you, and it's extremely painful, and my heart felt like it exploded in a million pieces. And I remember one night, a couple of weeks after he left, where the pain was so intense that I had gone in the bathroom and I had collected all the Vicodin I had in my medicine cabinet. I told you I had injured my back, so I had a ton of Vicodin. I actually had 40 pills. As a good scientist, I checked how many you needed to kill yourself, and you need basically 20. So with 40 of them, I had a very good chance of hurting myself and stopping the pain forever. So I really considered that. And as I was standing in the bathroom with those pills in my hand, I look at the mirror and I wonder, should I swallow them or not? And I have to say that that was a really stressful moment. But the person saving me at that moment was my inner child. Because at the time I was looking in the mirror, I had this little glimpse in my eyes. Say, come on, you're gonna hurt yourself? Don't you want to see the end of this story? I have always been curious. That's one of my gifts. I'm always curious. And I think my little one was curious. What's next? You feel like it's the end of the world. Actually, it might not be the end of the world. And she may have been right at that moment, that it was just the beginning. So I actually started to look at other possibilities. And I look at for help. And I was extremely lucky. I found a wonderful coach and hypnotherapist. I started working with him, and within 6 weeks, I was doing way better. After 3 months, actually, I was doing so well that I decided that I had to learn which the tool he was teaching me. And he became my mentor, and I went to hypnosis school. So I became a very fast certified hypnotherapist. I also went to coaching school. I became a certified coach. And within 1 year, not only I was starting a new career, but I had written 2 books. I was filing for divorce. My divorce actually was definitely on its way. I was selling my house. I was totally starting on a different journey. And you know what was really, really cool was during one of a mediation meeting with my husband, my ex-husband now, we met, and he said, wow, look at me and say, wow, Fab, you became the woman I thought you could be. And yeah, I think I'm pretty proud of myself, and I could say yes. Actually, I became an amazing woman, and I could feel it. And since then, it's been amazing. It's been great. In 2015, I was voted best life coach in the Bay Area. I was voted among the 30 best dating coach. As I told, I wrote 2 books, but I published my first one in 2015. I'm working on my 3rd book right now. I have been speaking on stage in California, but also in France and in Australia. I spoke in front of audience of up to 200 people. And I get to do what I want to do. I get to live my dream life. I get to help others the way I was helped. I get to see them smile when finally they get happy again. And it's an amazing feeling. So at that moment, really, from that moment, I knew that was just the beginning of my journey. And I knew I was good enough. I knew I was capable enough. I knew I was worthy enough. I really want the same thing for you. So right now, I would like you, if it's okay with you, I cannot see you, so I hope you follow what I'm telling you. I would like you to close your eyes. And I would like you to consider where you are today in your life. What are your main challenges? What are the dreams you had to let go of because of should have, would have, because of not feeling good enough, because of not feeling capable enough? And I would like you to imagine your little one, this cocky little kid inside of you who thought that everything was possible, who was jumping higher than anybody, who could do things that were a little bit crazy. And I would like you to remember this little one. And I would like you to look at him or look at her and feel his smile, feel his love for you. At the same time, I would like you to send her or him a lot of love. Tell her, tell him, I'm there for you. I love you. I'm so happy to connect with you. And we're going to do more and more of this type of exercise. But let me tell you, this whole work is based on a very simple principle. And this principle is love. Self-love sounds cliche, but it's all start with that. Once you love yourself, every single part of yourself, from the most vulnerable one to the highest, more unstoppable one. When you love every single part of you, you become unstoppable. So please, open your eyes and let me remind you something. We are all born whole, perfect, and complete. We just forgot. And that's with this part of you who is whole, who is perfect, and who is complete that I want you to reconnect. So let me tell you why. Oh, hi, little inner child. I love to see her. She's cute. And I'm sure your inner child is cute as well. So let me tell you why you should reconnect with your inner child. First of all, you have to realize that at every moment, your conscious brain processes only 5 to 9 bits of information. Those information come from whatever you see, hear, taste, smell. But at the same time, where your brain processes those 5 to 9 information, your subconscious brain processes up to 44 million bits of information. That's crazy when you think of it. And those subconscious information come from all your past. Every single data you have been putting in your brain from 8 weeks in utero all the way to today. Every single thing that happened left a trace, whether you remember it or not. And especially what you have been experiencing during the first 6 years of your life became your book of truth. What you have been experiencing really early in your life is actually became your go-to when you try to check an information. Is it right or is it wrong? Is it true or isn't it true? So let me give you an example of one of my clients, because it's usually easier to understand with example. I'm going to give you the example of one of my clients. Obviously, I changed names because of confidentiality, but her name, let's say, is Dana. Dana came to me because she was exhausted. She was working 2 jobs. She was raising her 3 kids, plus 2 that she had, 2 foster kids who were living at her place at the time. She could barely sleep, and each time she tried to rest, she had panic attack. So she came to me, she was really, really tired. When I asked her to focus on the last time she rested, she started having an anxiety, a pure panic attack. And it took us back, and we did that through hypnosis, so I'm gonna shortcut the way we did it, but it took her back to the time when she was a little girl, 5 or 6 year old, and instead of cleaning her house, she went to play with her friends, like a normal 5 or 6 year old. The problem was in her family, mom was extremely depressed. She was the oldest one of 3 kids, so she was the big sister, and there was a second one, and there was a little one. And her mom was either taking care of the little ones or just staying in bed. But the problem was her dad, who was an alcoholic and a very abusive dad. And when he was coming back from work, either the house was immaculate and the kids were taken care of and everything was okay, and then it could be kind of okay, or if there was some kind of a mess, anything, even a piece of paper on the floor, or anything, he will get enraged. And when he will get enraged, he will be violent against Dana, against her sister, against the baby, and against her mom. And there was no way she would let it happen. She was scared. So fast forward 45 years, because she came to me, she was in her 50s. Each time she tried to rest, what happened is a little child was telling, a 5-year-old was telling you, hell no, you don't rest. You cannot rest. It's kind of dangerous if you rest. It was not the case anymore. She was married to a wonderful man, thank God. And this man was telling her, go get a manicure, take care of yourself, I'm gonna take care of the kids. But the problem, each time she was trying to rest, her inner child was protecting her and telling her, you know what? It's actually kind of dangerous to do that. A book of truth was telling her, resting is dangerous. Can you believe it? So, of course, I help her release this feeling and this anxiety. And after that, it was way better. And we worked together for a few months, and it was great to see her enjoy life again. But let me show you what happened with your inner child, because he or she is wonderful. Every day we define ourselves with those type of questions. Who am I? What am I doing? And how do I do what I do? And I'm going to take again the example of one of my clients to explain you what is the role of your inner child. This client is named Patricia, and Patricia is a therapist. She's 20 years. She has a practice as a psychologist for the past 23 years. So who is she? She's a therapist. What is she doing? She's helping others. How do I do what I do? By doing an amazing job. She's a very good therapist. The only problem that Patricia had was that she was not making enough money. She was barely making it. She contacted me wondering, why in the world would I just make enough to pay my rent, to put food on the table, and then that was it? She couldn't make more than $5,000 a month, which in the Bay Area is definitely not enough to do more than survive. So I asked her to go back to have a conversation with her inner child And in her inner child book of truth, there was a specific message. In the first years of her life, actually until she became an adult and even beyond that, for as far as she could remember, her parents were kind of lower middle class to the limit. Her dad was working in a factory and barely making it. Her mom was raising the kids. So basically they had enough, they had just enough, no extra. But what happened was her parents were really, really upset, and especially her dad was always complaining about his boss and all those rich people who were behaving like the word is there and who were totally obnoxious, and actually they were terrible. If they were good people, they will do it differently. And just the fact that they were living the life that they were, like they didn't care, made them terrible people. As a kid, what she heard was rich people are bad. Rich people are bad. Wow. Wasn't she glad when we started working together that she found this line? And what her inner child was doing was actually to keep her safe from being a bad person. Nobody wants to be a bad person. We all want to be good. So she had a beautiful conversation with her little one, and she got to tell her little one, you know what? You can make money and be a good person. It was amazing. And I have to tell you, it was a 3 hours breakthrough session. I give some of them, it was just a beautiful session where there was a huge shift in few hours. And after those 3 hours, she said, okay, I'm gonna try it, let's see. I'm a good therapist, I know that, I'm gonna try to do my best. The next month, she made $10,000. It was her first 10K month ever. Since then, it's been a year. She is this year in the 6-figure range. For the first time in her life, she's actually making money, being the amazing therapist she is. So I give you some example of how conversation with your inner child can help you, but let me tell you how you can do this work. Because that's where you are, why you are here. You want to know the tool, I know that. And I'm gonna share with you few tools. The number one way to communicate with your inner child gonna be, okay, you have many ways. First of all, you can write her a letter, and I'm gonna tell you more about it. You can do meditation or visualization. You can sing to him or to her. And I'm gonna talk to you about ideomotor response. And once again, I'm gonna repeat that. This whole subject, the whole way you can connect, the best way you can connect with your inner child is through love. So right now, I would like you to check. And if you have a piece of paper and a pencil, please take it because you might use it. You might want to use it. I would like you to take this piece of paper and write down, where are you limiting yourself? where are you not living your big life? And if you are just listening to the recording, please stop the video and you can do this exercise right now. So I'm going to go back to the example I was giving you earlier about my own journey and where I was limiting myself in my life was by not showing how smart I was. I was really living a small life, a way smaller life than I should have, considering that, yes, I was pretty smart. And let me tell you a little bit more about that. When I was 5-year-old, I was tested and it was established that I was a gifted child. The little problem that it created was at that time I was a very happy 5-year-old. I was having a lot of friends. I even had my little lover. He was 6-year-old. We were in the same classroom and he was walking with me to class every day. And I was really a happy kid. It was really, really cool. The problem was when teacher noticed that I was really smart, they decided that I was probably bored in my classroom, which was not the case. And they suggested my parents that I should be placed in a special school where I could be studying according to my level. And basically what happened, they made me skip 2 grades. So at 5-year-old, I ended up in classroom with 7 to 8-year-olds. And yes, it was, in some way it was a very good thing, but in other way, my 5-year-old who had to let go of all of her friends felt like she was punished. And it was really, really hard. And as I was moving to United States, to this new country, and I was trying to establish myself, I was, don't ever show that you are smart, because whatever friend you have today, if you show that you're smart, you're going to lose them. How is it for a crazy lie? And so I want to ask you again, where are you limiting yourself? And I would like you to check with yourself. Is a story that is limiting yourself about you, or is it about a story that you heard, like in the case of Patricia, who was limiting herself because what she heard about her parents? Or in my case, I limited myself in other way because of story I heard from my parents, especially from my mom, who was given at birth because she was a girl. So girls are not supposed to be smart or not being lovable. So there were few issues. You have to be really conscious about whatever can stop you has been in your book of truth from very early on, and it can be something that happened to you or something that you heard as truth and that you put in your book of truth. So once you identified this thing that may prevent you from living your great life, this lie that you may have learned really early on in your life, I would like you to look at your little one. And since you have a piece of paper and a pen, maybe by now, I would like you to write a letter to your little one, I would like you to tell her or him how much you love her, how much you appreciate her, how much she has been perfect for you all those years to keep you safe. And I want you to give your adult perspective on all the love she should have heard when she was a kid. And I would like also you to listen to her or to him and check with him. What did he do or what did she do when she was a kid that was really, really, really cool and that you forgot about? And I would like to listen to her advice. What little crazy thing could you do again that you forgot about? I'm going to give you again an example of one of my clients. Her name is Hélène. And Hélène came to me because she was getting through a very nasty divorce and she was definitely feeling heartbroken and shrinking, and her life was not what she wanted to be, very similar to my situation in many ways. But when she wrote to her little one, the message she received from her little one was, remember when you were doing all those crazy things, when you were a tomboy and we were rolling in the grass and we were jumping in the puddle and we were dancing in the rain? Why did you forget that? You have to trust yourself. You have to trust that you can jump higher than anybody. That was an eye-opening message from a little one to her adult self. You can trust yourself. That's so cool. So you can take a couple of minutes and write down the beginning of this letter. It's gonna start by, dear little one, I love you because, or I respect you because. And dear little one, thank you for your message, and listen to his or her message. And if you listen to the recording, and please, if you are in this call, listen to the recording. I will send it to you and you can do the exercise as we go. That will be amazing. Pause there and write this letter. Second way to share, to hear your inner child, is by meditating or visualization, or actually it's what I would call self-hypnosis. I would like you to close your eyes and once again visualize something that you don't want anymore in your life. And just check how this leaving this thing that is limiting you is making you feel. It's usually something that you can feel at the body level. For example, heartbreak, feel like your heart is breaking in piece, or if you are anxious, you feel like a pain in the stomach here at bottom, or you can feel like your throat is closing or your body tensing. Feel this feeling and acknowledge it. And try to use this trace in your body as an anchor that will allow you to check with your body when was the first time you felt that way. And by identifying the first time you felt that way, the first time you had this heart broken feeling, the pain on the stomach, the shoulder, the throat, you're going to have an image coming to you, and you're going to be able to have a conversation with your inner child at that time, at the first time they felt that way, he or her, she felt that way. And you're gonna be able to send a lot of love the same way we did through the letter. I'm gonna give an example. So you can do it now or you can do it later, but I'm gonna give you again the example of one of my clients. Her name is Diane. And Diane came to me because she was going from relationship to relationship. And none of those relationships were happy or satisfying, and some of them were abusive. And she was like, nobody gonna love me ever. And when I asked to her the way it felt, and it felt like really like her heart was hurting so bad. And I asked her to go back to the first time she felt that way. Actually, that was really an intense feeling. And she went back to the first time when she felt that way, which was when she was born. She looked at her inner child and asked her, why do you feel that way? And the message she got was, Mom doesn't love me. And when she looked at her mom, from an adult perspective, she realized her mom was 16 when she got pregnant. So sure enough, her mom didn't love her when she came. She was not a love child. She was an quote unquote accident. And as a kid, she didn't feel love. She didn't feel wanted. And she didn't know she deserved love. And that was a big challenge for her in all the years after that, because she couldn't attract a loving relationship. Obviously, we worked together, release the pain, release the feeling, and it created a huge shift and a huge change in her confidence in our life. So yes, that's something I would like you to do. I would definitely like you to focus on this pain you may feel right now at the thought of not living your best life. Use this physical pain as a tracer to go back to the first time you have felt that way. And breathe through it. Look at the little child that you were at the time you felt that pain the first way, and send this child a lot of love, like big hug type of love. Now, next way to communicate with your inner child is way more fun. This was a little bit, is very useful, but it's really, what I explained to you was probably more intense. But the next one is singing. So singing, it's actually a wonderful way to talk to your little one. You know how when you learn song as a kid, they are still stuck in your mind? Or sometimes you have this song in your mind and you just can't get rid of it. It's still there hours and hours later. So song tend to stick in our subconscious brain. So I want you to take this challenge. I want you to replace any message, any negative message you may have until now, by positive ones. And the way you do it is by singing positive message to you. Let me be a little bit more precise. The way it looks like is, until now you may have, when you do something that is not exactly what you want to be, you're gonna have reaction like, are you stupid? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I still do that. And all of your life you have those kind of negative self-criticism message, and those criticism probably come back all the way from your parents when you were dropping something. They will be, I can't believe you did that. So you had, or your teacher, so you probably had a ton of negative message, and we want to replace with a lot of positive message. So the way I do that is in my car. I turn on the radio and I'm listening to some music, and I'm replacing the lyrics from whatever they are to I love you, I respect you, you are amazing. So let me give you an example, because I still have the music in front of you, of me. It was not planned, but let's try to see how it looks like. And I'm gonna pretend I'm in a car. I do it in my car so nobody can hear me sing. So I apologize for the singing. I'm gonna do my best. I love you, you're amazing. Okay, I'm gonna stop because I'm terrible at singing. You can hear why I do that in my car, but I hope it made you laugh. Yes, so you're in your car and you sing, I love you, you're amazing, and you think about your inner child, you sing about your little one, and you sing all those beautiful words to him or her. Whew. Okay. So next way to communicate with your little one. I'm going to be very brief on that, even though it's one of the most powerful ways, but it will probably take more than 90 minutes to explain to you. It's called ideomotor response. You know how our body, you know about our body language, and like when we try to explain something, we are agreeing on something and our head nod yes, or when you're disagreeing, our head go back and forth no. So you can make an agreement with your inner child and ask him or her to express itself through itself or herself through your head. And the way it works, you ask your inner child, you do it with your eyes closed, so you're going to do it later on, but you're going to ask with your eye closed to your little one, would you be okay to communicate with me through my hand? And if you're okay, can you lift my index finger? And you let it happen. And at some point, just your subconscious is going to take thinking, the information going to sink into your subconscious, and you're going to have a response that will look like that or like that. But, okay, let's see. Little one, so for me, my little one is called Fabi. Fabi, will you be willing to talk with us today? Okay, there's a lot of people, so she's shy. She barely lifts my index finger. Usually I have bigger response, but there's a lot of people. And let me ask her, are you shy? Oh, no, she doesn't want to be shy. So actually, it's, so the yes gonna be through moving the index finger, and you make an agreement that each time you want to, yes, you have a yes response from your inner child, it's gonna be moving your index finger. Each time you have a no negative or negative response, it's gonna be by moving your pinky. If you manage to make this work, you can ask yourself any question. Like, I use it to choose what I have to eat in a restaurant. I look at the menu and I'm like, should I get the salad or should I get the chocolate cake? You have to be precise. So if I'm asking, do I want the salad? I'm gonna have a no. If I ask, should I, or is it healthier for me to eat the salad, I'm gonna have a yes. If I have, do I want the chocolate cake? Hell yes, she wants the chocolate cake. So be as precise as you can in your question. And you can use it when you have to make choice in your life, in your business, anywhere. You can ask, once you make this agreement, on your subconscious level, are you in, and then you're okay to say yes by my using the index finger or no by using my pinky. You can ask questions about anything and everything. So it's an amazing tool, and definitely I would love to tell you more about that. I'm gonna stop on the 1.5 hour mark, but we can have, I can answer question after the 1.5 hours. And if you want me to go back there, I would go back there. And finally, the big message about the way to communicate with your inner child is through love. Love her, love him. And the way you love a child is not the way you love an adult. When your inner child has feeling, like when you feel sad, it's your inner child who feels sad. And if you ignore the feeling, you pretend nothing's wrong, it's he or she gonna react like any kid. If your kids tell you, I'm sad, and you say, forget about it, let's get a glass of wine, what will happen? Usually the kids will scream a little bit louder, cry a little bit louder, put on a tantrum, and if you continue ignoring her, she will shut up and close herself. You can see kids who are ignored way too long just close herself, and they become depressed. So it's exactly the same thing with your inner child. Actually, when you feel sad, acknowledge, or anxious or angry or whatever feeling you're feeling, acknowledge your feeling. That's the #1 step. And just by doing that, you're gonna send a love message to your little one. You're gonna be, are you sad? Really? Oh, sorry. And just by feeling heard, it's gonna get better. Instead of shutting it down, a lot of people just want to shut down the feeling by shoving it in the carpet, forget about it, I don't want to feel anything, or let's take a glass of wine, or let's take drugs, whatever drugs you want to use, a recreational drug or medication. That's a way to shut up your little one. So really acknowledge the feeling of your little one. That's gonna make so much difference. Okay, so 5 ways to reconnect with your little one. And there's definitely a lot I could say about that, but write a letter, meditation, visualization, self-hypnosis, singing in your car, not in front of a webinar, video virtual response, and love, definitely love. And I told you, by doing this type of work, you're gonna get a lot of power back, because your inner child, in fact, is your intuition. It's this part of you who is maybe a kid, but who has been keeping you safe for years and years and years. And she's been really an amazing support all those years to keep you in a better place. But right now, if you want to step in your power, if you want to make choice, she can support you to the next level. And you need to ask her. So let me tell you something about intuition and the way it works or doesn't work. A lot of people think like intuition is this thing that comes in your mind anytime, like, oh, it doesn't feel right, okay, or it does feel right. Let me be more precise. Intuition comes from a place of peace. if it comes from a place of fear, this is not intuition. It's called a gremlin or a saboteur. The way a gremlin or a saboteur shows up is, oh, maybe you should do that. Oh, no, let's try do that. Oh, maybe you should, you know, the hamster running in your head nonstop and like in a wheel, and you're totally panicky and you're totally overwhelmed. This is not your intuition. This is a saboteur or gremlin. Now, if you do your self-work, if you communicate with your inner child regularly, and if you have good time with her, you're going to be, okay, little one. And you can use this tool, actually, that's the one I use. Should I talk about this or that? Should I talk about this? Should I talk about the saboteur? Should I talk about chocolate cake? No. Okay, whatever. You're going to have a clear, peaceful response. And each time you have to make a decision by checking with your little one, with this wisdom part of you, you're going to be able to make a choice that you can feel confident about. And this choice comes from your body. So I'm going to make an exercise. I'm going to ask you to do an exercise all together. And for this exercise, I'm going to stand up. So I'm going to have to change my screen. And I didn't think about the fact that my microphone was attached, but okay. So I want all of you to stand up. And I would like you to go back once again to this thing that you want to change in your life. Whatever it is, whether it's professional or personal, whatever is this thing that you really, really don't want anymore in your life and that you would like to shift. And I would like you to take a step to the left and close your eyes. And think about what would happen if you don't take any action, if you stay the way you are, if you stay like this for the next months, if you stay like this for the next 3 months, nothing happens. You don't change anything, nothing will happen. You're gonna, if you stay stuck for another 6 months, feel it in your body. How does it feel? Pleasant or unpleasant? How does it feel if you stay stuck for a year? If you don't take action, feel it in your body. And then step back to the middle and please open your eyes and shake it out, because usually it doesn't feel so good. And really shake it out. And now I would like you to do the same exercise, but take a step to the right. And sorry, I don't have a lot of room in front of me, so I'm going to take a tiny step to the right. And close your eyes. And let's go back to this thing that you don't want in your life anymore. And let's imagine you're taking action. You're doing something about it. You're looking for help. You're actually changing something in your behavior. You're just taking action, whether it's by yourself or checking with the help of somebody else. And let's imagine you have been taking action. How does it feel in your body after 1 month? How does it feel in your body after 3 months? How does it feel after 6 months when you start seeing results and things shifting? And how does it feel after 1 year? I hope it feels better. So come back in the middle, open your eyes, and I'm going to sit again, and you can sit again. And I would like you to use the chat. Remember this bar at the bottom of the screen, and if you, okay, can you share with me which one felt better? Was it on the left when you were not taking any action, or was it on the right where you were taking some kind of action? And I hope. Okay, somebody, thank you for answering. I have first answers. Felt better with in the right, doesn't it? You can feel it in your body. You can really feel the lightness and the opening. Yes, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes. So, yes, your body knows the difference. Really. And you can do it. Your body knows the way to do it. And you can shift things amazingly just by checking inside of you, because you have the response. You have the answer. You have exactly everything that you need to shift things. I'm going to share again my screen because I want to share with you another message. Love and love with all your might. Kiss and hug and snuggle tight. Let go of sadness and regret and say, I love you every chance you get. Whatever challenge you are faced with, whether it's a personal challenge, either going through heartbreak or seeing your kids go to college, or professional challenge, not having the type of job you want, whatever it is, you have the tool inside of you to shift it. You just need to be able to access that. And you have to realize that even a positive change can be very stressful, like having a promotion or having a kid can be, even though it's very positive, can be extremely stressful. So you really have to acknowledge the feeling you're feeling. Like I told you, you have the only way you can help your kids release any anxiety, any heartbreak, any anger is by first acknowledging the way you're feeling. And you need to send a lot of love to your little one regularly, daily if you can. So let me repeat how to do it. Sing to her or sing to him in your car, hopefully better than I can sing. Talk to her. Tell her how much you love her. And ask her what she wants. She will send you a message. And I have been considering this principle of loving her. And I don't know if you're familiar with the 5 languages of love. But the 5 languages of love say we express love in 5 different languages. Those languages are touch, word of affirmation, quality time, act of service, and gifts. And those principles are used to express love to somebody else. But I thought, what if we were using the same principle to talk or to communicate or to send love to your little one? So how can you express touch to your little one? You can hug yourself. Give yourself a big, big hug. Or go outside and meet friends and get hugs. Or get a massage. All of that will be the way to express love to your little one through touch. mess your hair, whatever she needs. The second way you can express love to yourself is by word of appreciation. As I say, write a letter, tell her how much you love her. All those words of affirmation are extremely important. Quality time. Spend some time with yourself. Spend some time doing something that you enjoy every single day, even 5 minutes. Spend time breathing outside or doing something that you enjoy every day. Act of service. How can you do act of service toward yourself? It's going to be by eating healthy, by cooking yourself a special meal, by cleaning your house. You come back to a beautiful, clean house, you will feel better. So yes, you can really give service to yourself. And finally, gifts. So remember when it was Christmas or your birthday, how excited you were about receiving gifts and how amazing it is to receive a gift? So I have thought about that, and I thought, okay, I'm talking to all of your little ones. And as we are coming closer to the holiday, I would like to offer every single one of you a gift. This gift is, as I told you, we talked together for 90 minutes, so almost there. But there's so much I can give you in the limited amount of time we had together, and it's a general description. I would like to work with you on something that is about you and your own problem and your own challenge, and help you see if I can help you get your best life. The way I describe it is your fabulous life. This life that is fabulous and delicious at the same time. And because it's a gift, I created something for you. I created this gift called I Want My Life Back Discovery Session. And what it is, it's actually 30 minutes together on the phone. So wherever you are, either you're living in California, next door to me, or I have people all the way from Singapore listening to this webinar. So even if you are in Singapore, we're going to do it on the phone or on Skype. But we're going to check what is your biggest challenge and what is your vision? What would you like instead? We're going to check what has been preventing you from reaching your goal. And I'm going to give you 2 or 3 insights of what you can do today to start shifting. Remember when you were stepping to the right, how it felt good when you start taking action? I can promise you after those 30 minutes, you're going to have the first step of action. And if 30 minutes is not enough, obviously I will tell you how we can continue working further. But it's really those 30 minutes going to be about you and about your little one and how you can communicate better with her or with him, and how this communication going to shift your life. So we have 10 people on this call, but we have 40 people signed up. And I know a lot of you are going to listen to this as a recording, and I'm going to offer 20 slots in the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks max. I will open that in my calendar. 20 I Want My Life Back Discovery Session. And if you want to sign up for it, it's going to be very simple. I'm not super good with technology, so I try to make it easy. The best way going to be to go to this link, fabulicious.schedulista.com, and I'm going to email you later in 1 hour the link, so you can go directly to the scheduler and find a time that works for you. But if you are ready for it, if you are fully ready for the shift, I want to know that you are falling in right here, right now. And this is my personal cell phone. You're going to make a +1 if you are out of the US, but if you are in the US, this is the number to text me. And you just have to text yes to this number. And by just texting me yes, I know you're going to be in, I know you're going to be in my calendar, and we're going to find a time where we can work further together, where I can give you those few tips that will help you get to the next level. I hope you are excited as I am excited. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, this webinar, as much as I enjoy preparing it and delivering it to you. It's kind of weird talking like that to a screen and not being able to see you, but I really keep in my heart the vision of every single one of you. The one on the webinar right now, the one who are listening to the recording. And I'm gonna open the chat to question and answer. But for the people who are just on the recording and for the people who just have to go, I'm gonna send you tonight with a lot of love. Love you.